Hello everybody, and welcome to the Healer Tarot. My name is James, and I'll be doing your reading today. This particular reading is for the sign of Cancer. And today I'll be using what is called the Talisman spread, which is from an oracle deck of mine. Not the one that I'm currently using, but it is a spread that has been favored in the past, so I thought, maybe I should bring it back. It's been a while. Alright. So let's jump into this. In the position of your subconscious here, we have established priorities. So this card can be taken literally, right? There may be some things that you may need to reevaluate your priorities. And I feel like maybe this is because, people may be dropping little hints to you, because this card speaks to how your priorities are made obvious to those around you through your actions, your choices, the things that you're doing with your life, the things that you're pursuing, how you're pursuing them. And I just realized that my lighting is off. All right. Now, but yeah, so I feel like subconsciously you know that there are some things that need to change here. There are some, you may need to take a look back at your whys. Take a look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, your reasoning for such. And to further clarify that, we have the Hanged Man, which this is exactly what just came out in the reading I did previous to this. So this came out in the Gemini, this exact combination, establish priorities and the Hanged Man, except it was in the position of their best course of action. So maybe if you have Cancer in your chart, I would definitely suggest going and taking a look at that reading. But yeah, I'm going to say exactly what I said here. There's something that is going to happen. There's going to be maybe some sort of sacrifice that you're going to need to make, which is going to change your perspective here on things, which is going to then, cause you to change your priorities. Now, in the position of your best course of action, no, your possibilities or obstacles, we have hold the connection. Now, this is speaking to, you can probably guess, is speaking to your connection with the divine source, the universe, God, what have you, whoever, whatever it is that you connect with on such a level. And it's really the way that you connect to them is by connecting to yourself, right? It's by being your most authentic self, because if you're not being you, then you're not going to connect to that which is meant for you. You're not going to be, in the awareness to recognize things. You're not going to be in the awareness, right? You're not going to be aware of the things, like, for example, the signs and synchronicities that the universe could be sending you. And to further clarify that, we have the Two of Swords. I mean, you see here, she's blindfolded, but she's still taking a shot. This is my shot in the dark card. I feel like hold the connection. It also speaks to, your faith, your belief in the universe, right? It's speaking to your belief that, oh man, I just had this. My brain is not functioning well today. It's like your belief in the unknown here, which the Two of Swords, shot in the dark. You really have to trust yourself, and in turn trust the universe here, in order to take a shot in the dark successfully. So there's definitely going to be some sort of decision here that you're going to have to make. I feel like this sort of has to do with this, Hanged Man energy, this sacrifice that you're going to need to make, possibly. That's going to trigger this change of perception, and in turn causing you to change your priorities. Now, in the position of your best course of action, we have play. Yeah, this card really speaks to connecting with the inner child and the wisdom that can be gained from such. Because, children, they just are who they are. Children are very, honest to a fault because they don't know anything else. Children, obviously depending on their age, but most children, they have not experienced the pain, right, of growing up, the pain of losing people, the pain of people not being who they thought they were, the pain of people leaving them for whatever reason. They're very untouched by life yet, so they're very pure, they're very genuine. They don't know anything other than being themselves. They know no other way. So when they are, right, they do what they want, they say what they want. And with that, right, when it comes to playing, it's like their ultimate expression. They don't care what other people think of what they're doing. They're just doing it because it feels good. They're just doing it because they want to. And I feel like, this is also speaking to, operating with an open heart here. And now to further clarify that, we have the King of Cups. Now, I feel like this is really going to help you here to sort of find I want to say maybe, I don't know if it would be an emotional balance. I guess I would say it'll help you find an emotional balance, because if you think about it, right, a great way to deal with stress is to play. What do you think kids do when, they feel tension? They go to their own space and they play. They do things that make them feel better. And that helps them to find that inner balance. Right now, in the position of outside forces here, we have love unabashedly. Now, you might assume that this is speaking to, love between two people, but it's really speaking to that sort of living with your heart wide open, right? And it also talks about love in the sense of, not putting any, not having a tit for tat sort of situation, not, gosh, what is the phrase? It's you're not keeping tally, right? You're not keeping score. Say there's a relationship where you guys have been back and forth for a while, right? Things have happened. You've both hurt each other. Now, if you're sitting there and you're keeping tally, you're keeping score of everything this person has done to you, that's going to blind you to the actual love. Because love doesn't keep score. Love just is. Love is very open. Love is forgiving. Love is also blind. But we're not going to go there right now, okay? This is speaking to just loving freely and not letting anything get in the way. And that's sort of in a sense, the ultimate expression of love. And to further clarify that, we have the Ten of Swords. I almost said the Ten of Wands. But, it's I feel like your ability here to really love so freely is caused by a transformation you've gone through because of so much pain, whether it has to do with betrayal, backstabbing, what have you. I feel like, you've sort of ended a cycle of pain, in a sense, and that's what's really allowed you to release all of the things that were holding you back, which could have been, having to do with people. You could have been keeping score. You could have, had a particular idea of how this person would love you, how this situation would go, how this person would be, and you're letting go of all of that. And you're just being open to whatever comes your way, however it comes towards you, however it goes, because you know, this pain, you understand, you know, that things aren't always going to be what they seem. Now, in the position of your surroundings and family here, we have practice tenderness. Now, this speaks to both you and other people. Okay. You know, it's essentially you're being asked to be understanding, be forgiving when it comes to yourself, but also other people. Excuse me. And I mean, this makes a lot of sense with how I was just talking about, you know, loving wide open, operating with your heart wide open. That will also require you here to be forgiving, for you to be understanding towards both yourself and others, because again, if you can't be forgiving and understanding with yourself, how are you supposed to be that for others, or rather with others? You know, that's not going to work. We learn first by how we, I want to say, treat ourselves. And then from there, that extends into our relationships, right? That extends, it's like that saying, you know, you can only connect with others as deeply as you can connect with yourself. Now, to further clarify that, we have the King of Swords. Yeah, you know, I feel like you're drawing boundaries here, right? You're drawing boundaries here, enforcing boundaries here. And you know, I feel like you're better understanding what it is you're not willing to deal with and what it is you are willing to deal with people. And I feel like this is made easier by having this compassion towards yourself and others. You know, having understandings of people's capabilities as well as your own helps you to really create the proper boundaries. It helps you to understand what to expect when it comes to particular connections. Now, in the position of your driving force here, we have invite peace, which, you know, if you take a look at the imagery here, there's these what look like cathedrals or a cathedral, whatever, but it's a space for worship. It's a space where people go to find peace, and essentially, you know, this is what it's speaking to, right? You're being asked to create a space in which you can find peace, which means, you know, create a space where you could go to be alone. Create a space to go where you can connect with yourself and connect with who or whatever it is you believe in, deity-wise or whatever, right? Because this is going to really help you to maintain this connection with self, and by extension, your connection to the universe and the energies around you. And to further clarify that, we have the devil. Now, I feel like this is, you know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, the devil. You know, the devil will usually speak to some toxic people, toxic traits, manipulation, behaviors. But in this particular situation, I see it as it's on like the flip side, where you're healing toxic traits, where you're healing possibly toxic views, toxic ideals. You know, there may be some like old school beliefs that you picked up from your parents or the people that raised you. And these things here are going to be healed when, or maybe not are going to be healed, but you're going to be able to heal them when you have this space for yourself to be alone and do this work. Because it's kind of like a private thing, I would say. Now, lastly, in the position of your outcome, here we have retreat, which is essentially that. This is like, to me, this is very much so like the equivalent of the Hermit card in Oracle form, okay? Because here they're speaking to, you know, it's like creating that bubble around you, right? And that bubble will be your palace, which, you know, invite peace. That is where you're gonna be able to be alone, be with yourself. That's where you're going to be able to get away from people, from the world, the hustle and bustle of life, right? Society and all their expectations and bullshit. And this is where you go to transform, okay? This is where you go to connect deeper with yourself. This is where you go to heal the things that have been holding you back. And now to further clarify that, we have the Eight of Wands. This particular Eight of Wands is my What You Water Will Grow card. And that will create, that fast movement, that even flow moving forward. Which, I mean, at the bottom of the Oracle deck here, we have Take the Opportunity. I feel like all of this is happening, or very soon will be happening for you, because you're going to need to grow, you're going to need to change for a particular opportunity that is coming towards you. Now, that could be in anything. That's not going to be particularly in love, particularly in career. Like, this could possibly even have to do with a moving of locations. But whatever this opportunity is, to me, I'm getting the vibe that, this is why you're going to be going through all of this. This is why you're really, this is all going to be happening at this particular point in time. I'm a very firm believer in things happen as they're supposed to, when they're supposed to, how they're supposed to. And this is very much so a situation as such. Yeah, because also at the bottom of the tarot deck, we have the Six of Swords, which is, moving on to calmer shores, right? Moving on from any given situation. So honestly, this may even be speaking of a literal move, which would sort of make sense with both retreat and invite peace, because they also speak to like physical structures, and in the cards depicted are physical structures. So I'm definitely getting the vibe of a change of location, a moving of house, if you will. But anyways, all right, Cancer. These are the messages that I have for you today, and I do hope they serve you well. Be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.